Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Mystery Sports Podcast. And today is probably the most anticipated live I've probably ever done, except from my first ever live video. It's all about the Ashes, England versus Australia, England traveling down under, and probably the one of the most well anticipated Ashes series we'll ever have in terms of England traveling away to Australia. It's going to be brilliant. It's gonna be entertaining. There's gonna be so much to talk about throughout the entirety of the Ashes series. It's around a month, nearly 2 months long, the Ashes, in terms of having 5 test match and the way that they are spread out. So it's gonna be a very, very amazing and long period of time to decide whoever wins that earn back. Well, if Australia retain the Ashes or if England can take the earn back to England, obviously, that'd be amazing. But let's get straight into it. I mean, if we're talking about score predictions, we'll go there. Obviously, we know England under Ben Stokes and Brendan McCullum, the Bazball style is very, very entertaining, and it's done wonders for English cricket. I think England have got a very good chance, probably the best ever chance ever to win the earn back or what the Ashes that earns like a little trophy that you get for winning the Ashes. I think in terms of if for England, they've got to turn up to every test match, 100% effort, and they've got to not let Australia just run riot when they open the batting. And if they're chasing a score, for example, England, they cannot lose early wickets, like be two for two or not for two. They can't do that at all. In terms of Australia, I think Australia will be. It's a tough one with them because we know that they're lacking the squad depth. Like the bowlers are aged and aging currently. Obviously, the captain Pat Cummins is out for the first couple of tests with a hamstring injury, which is obviously a shame for him. The the batting lineup just isn't the same as it was the previous Ashes when Khawaja, Labuschagne, um, Travis Head were all on form. Like we're kind of a bit, we don't know what Australia's going to turn up really because of how poor they have been in terms of the current test season that they've just had. It's been quite shocking, really. I mean, getting battered off South Africa in the Test World Championship final, you don't want to see that. Obviously, there's a lot to do there. And if I'm going to go with a score prediction, I'm going to go 3-2 to England. I think England will do very well. I think they definitely will lose Test matches, and it's going to happen in Australia. You are going to lose Test matches. I just think that England, the team that they've got, Baz Ball, um, Stokes, Root. I think Root's going to get his first 100 in Australia. Obviously, we know he's got his old Test 100 with bowling, right, on in the practice Test match. But I think Root will do really well, and I think England can do a very good job, and they'll go and win 3-2. The first time they're probably ever going to win in 28 years in Australia. So I think it definitely could happen. And I have a lot of optimism um, for the kind of like English cricket and it coming to Australia and they turning up, playing really well. They do amazing, and they go and bring home the Ashes, and I think they will do that. I have a lot of confidence that they will do that. My only downside is to that happening is that England aren't obviously used to the wicket, and they're not very in terms of how the wickets are in Australia. It's quite difficult for an opposing side to go and obviously turn up there and play Australia off the park. But with the form that Australia are in, like I've mentioned previously, I do think England have a very good chance. In terms of what I think will happen overall, in terms of like high score runners, will Root get his century? Um, who was probably be the standout for the bowling for England and even for Australia as well? I think that the highest run scorer probably Ben Duckett for England. I think we can always rely on Ben Duckett. I know obviously he can have those types of games where he gets like a 15 for 28 or something, but I think Ben Duckett, he's going to be a vital player for England, and especially if we want to create those total scores to have a good chance of winning the game. I think we need to get something like 350 and above to have a chance to win in Australia. So I think Ben Duckett will be reliable or be really influential in terms of getting that kind of those huge score lines, maybe a 70. If he can average 70 in a few of his games, that'd be brilliant for us. And I'd love that to happen. I mean, also as well, I think in terms of who else will probably be very influential will be Joe Root, like always, Mr. Consistent. Obviously, I do think he will get his century, and obviously it's been widely anticipated. Is he going to get it or is he not going to get it? I think he will. I think it's Joe Root. He's had a very good start to, he's very good test kind of test season this year. Obviously, we know he's overtook Sir Alistair Cook in test runs for England. He's second or third in the world for most runs in test cricket, and I think on his form and his confidence at the moment, I think that Joe Root will do it amazingly. And obviously, in terms of bowling for England, I think Stokes needs to be careful that he doesn't get injured, and don't want him bowling long periods because if he bowls long periods, I think that England obviously he'll damage himself, and England kind of need Ben Stokes in there because I think if we get rid of Ben Stokes, we saw that in the India test when he didn't play. You get rid of Ben Stokes, there's nothing there. I mean, Ollie Pope's not good enough. Obviously, I know Harry Brook's been promoted to vice captain now, and I think obviously we know how good Harry Brook is, but there's no kind of flair there, and I think England look kind of lost without Ben Stokes at the moment. And obviously for the future, it's a bit concerning because once Ben Stokes retires, you're like, who's going to be the next test captain? Will it be Brook? Will it be Jamie Smith? Or who? You never know who it could be. Who's got not that bottle to go and produce consistently like Stokes does, get England out of trouble when they need to be. So, it's all that's all for the future. Obviously, for now in the Ashes, I think they've got a lot of collectively, the England team need to be strong, fight for each other, don't give any easy wickets away, take your catches, bowl hard at Australia, and you can get them because we've seen it happen. Labuschagne isn't the same Labuschagne he was a few years ago. Khawaja hasn't been doing amazingly. Head's not been doing too great. I mean, obviously we know Travis Head and Steve Smith will always be amazing against England. They are brilliant cricketers, so you know that's going to happen. You've just got to be careful and you've got to hit bowl hard at them and hopefully get those wickets. Obviously, the first test does kick off on not kick off. What would we say? The first test starts on Friday at 2:20 in the morning. Obviously, it's a very early start for in terms if you're watching it in England. Obviously, it'd be different in Australia. I mean, I don't know if I will be getting up then. I don't think I will be, but I'd like to think so. Well, I'd like to watch it. The first ball of the Ashes, obviously, brilliant news. Obviously, last time when it was held in England, and Zach Crawley hit it for four. Hopefully that happens again. That would be amazing. Or if England are bowling straight away, Kawaja's gone like for a duck, which will be amazing. The squad has come out today for the England squad for the first Ashes test. So you've got Ben Duckett, Zach Crawley, Ollie Pope, Joe Root, Harry Brook, Ben Stokes, Jamie Smith, Gus Atkinson, Cars, Mark Wood, Jofra Archer, and Bashir. So, in terms of the players they're selected, the major thing I see there is Bashir being selected. I didn't think Bashir would be getting selected, and I know that it will probably cause a lot of backlash in terms of is Bashir good enough to be in this England squad? Does he leak runs and things like that? I think yes, that is a thing that can happen. Bashir does leak runs. However, I think you're going into Australia, you need a spinner in there. If you don't have a spinner, I just don't see anything. Or when you're coming under that kind of spin territory, when you need a spin bowler, I think to have Shoaib Bashir there, I think it's just brilliant to just have someone who can actually properly spin the ball. I mean, obviously, no Joe Root can do it, but I'd rather have a specialist in there because I want Joe Root to focus on his batting. I think in terms of Bashir, his importance to the squad is how Nathan Lyon for Australia is. He's their spinner. Having Bashir in the squad, I think you just have someone there who can spin bowl. And what will happen if, let's say, the wicket is needs a spinner, then you've got someone there who can play there, and you're not giving Root like I don't know 50 overs or whatever it might be, and he's knackered by the time he's doing. Um, when it comes to batting and stuff. Obviously, we know he comes out at number 3, but I'd really want Joe Root to be batting and maybe obviously bowling a few overs if he has to, which will obviously be the case because I wouldn't be surprised if that didn't happen. And you know, I just think Joe Root needs to be rested, and Bashir should do well in terms of getting the wickets. But obviously, it sparks quite a bit of interest with Bashir being in the squad. I mean, another one in the squad as well, obviously, Mark Wood. Obviously, he's come back from injury. He's been out so long. He's not had a summer really in terms of cricket, but he is past the fit. He's past fit and seems to be playing in Perth. So I think that the final decision will be between Bashir and Cast. I wouldn't be surprised if the bowling attack for England would be Wood, Jofra, Jofra Archer, um, Gus Atkinson, and Bashir, and I could see Brendan McCullum and Stokes resting Brian Cars for the Perth test. However, I wouldn't be surprised if Bashir was left out of the squad um and Bryson Cars is in the squad. So it should be a very entertaining test series. I mean, there's always great expectation on an Ashes series, especially obviously with this one. I just think with it being with it being England having a new revelation in cricket, obviously with Bazball, and Australia being as vulnerable as they are this year, well, than they've ever been. I just think this is the opportunity that England had to go to Australia and go and reclaim the urn and bring the Ashes back to England. I think it probably could happen, but obviously we've got to wait out and we see what happens come Friday morning. And if I don't get up and don't watch it, and you guys as well, I don't expect anyone to watch it really. Obviously, it's a crazy hour to be watching cricket that time. But let's hope on Friday morning when we wake up about 8 o'clock, we can see England are batting. And you know, it's Australia have got a ridiculous score of like 120 hours it's 120 all out or something crazy like that. I mean, obviously that's a scenario which I don't think will happen, but there's always hope, and it's an Ashes series, so great expectation is going to be there, and yeah, we'll hope England obviously win. But yeah, that is it for the Ashes series, Ashes talk here. We'll do another episode, and obviously we'll do probably an episode on Saturday or Sunday in terms of like how the Ashes has been going so far, and is it who's winning or not who's winning, who's in favour or who are the odds on to win the test. And obviously Premier League is back, so we'll be doing a Premier League prediction on Friday. But yeah, I'll catch you all in a bit and enjoy the rest of your day.